Welcome back everybody for another tips and tricks video, and today I want to get right to it. We're going to talk about why I use separate stations. And number one is it's easier to keep lines separate. So if we're just looking at Frankfurt here as an example. This is the freight warehouse, the one I'm highlighting right now, and this is my express warehouse. You see, that makes it so much easier to keep our lines separate. I know that this is always freight. I actually rename it. I renamed this express, so then there's no wondering which line's which. And number two is it's easier to claim express status when you have your own separate express lines. They're not getting mixed up with freight lines, so you don't have slower trains running on them. You can kind of make them straighter, less curves, less hills, that kind of thing. You can adjust them a lot easier. You can bring in your entries separately, make sure they're going, like for instance, this freight line is going above the express line, so the express line can go just full tilt speed, whereas the freight line is going to slow down a little bit. Number three is you can add in a restaurant for an extra 15% income, and so that makes a big difference. The reason I only say that is because usually I go ahead and put maintenance sheds in each city. Number four, we can have bypass lines to save time. And so here we have our express station. Now for this scenario I had to go to other stations, and so I'm using this main express line track here. So I just go ahead and just around the city boundaries and come up and reconnect to my express station, and that saves my trains from going into Frankfurt when they don't need to. And number five, no city gets forgotten this way. You say, well, what do you mean by that? Well, if I only have one station right here, and I had several lines like I do right now coming in and out, I may not at first glance remember, like a minute or two later or 10 minutes later after doing this, I may forget whether they had express lines on it or not. And so, or maybe let's say I didn't have the money or whatnot. And so this way here, that's freight, this one's express. If there's a second station, I know there's an express line down there. If you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe, and come back and watch another great tips and tricks video on Ike and Me Gaming.